Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope. Thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships, your present and your future, right here in 3D. Whatever's in your heart and whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in 3D, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you'll save money at FijiWater.com. I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers who are continuing to encourage and inspire their family, friends, coworkers, and colleagues to tune in every day, 3D. We have a significant increase in viewership, and we know that it's because you continue to encourage everyone to tune in. So we thank you for your commitment and for your support. And for those of you who continue giving on the give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast, we thank you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And for everyone to remember, we are Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and we are RadioFreeNetwork.com Live. Go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on radio, the drop box will appear, click on New Life, and every broadcast will be available to you for your viewing right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So we are in the process of launching our new internet radio station, Faith Empowerment Radio. We want you to stay tuned in. We're going to keep you informed as we prepare to launch. We want to make certain you have a platform where you can hear music 24 hours a day and segments like 3D that we will be placing on our station throughout the year. So stay tuned. We're going to be going live, God willing, that there are no technology issues. We will be going live on Sunday, March 27, 2022. We are uploading music, in the process of selecting to upload music. We are going to be plugging in segments. So stay tuned, stay informed, be with us as we continue on this journey to make certain that everyone has a place to go where they can hear from God and be inspired, be encouraged, and experience a better quality of life. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have spent your entire life focusing on the needs of others. This sounds familiar. For the first time, you feel it is the right time to focus on you. However, you do not even know how to begin focusing on you. You know, let me say, this is very interesting because I've heard other people say the same thing, that their whole life has been about taking care of other people. You know, I have even not only heard it from other people, but I've witnessed others do it. You know, life is driven by their care for others and their support of others. And now you're saying you want to focus for the first time on yourself, and you feel it's the right time to do that. So that in itself is a major step, is that you realize for the first time that it is the right time for you to focus on you. And I'm not talking about just self-care. I'm talking about, and I will address that in a moment also. But I'm talking about the fact that all of your life you've done everything for everyone else. Now here you are at age 50, about to turn 51, and you finally realize that it's time to take care of you. You're taking care of everyone else. No one else is taking care of you. And you finally realize that it's time to do that. So to God be the glory for that. Having said that, we also have to be mindful that you have a life to live, and you can't live anyone else's life. So don't go back to trying to help people who don't help themselves. That's the first thing. Because you can get caught up into that very easily if someone presents a crisis, because your natural instinct is to help them solve the crisis. That's going to take you back to, as the term we use, as pastors we often use the term, it'll take you back to Egypt, and it will hold you captive. You can listen, you can have compassion, you don't have to take action. It's time for others to take action and be responsible for their own lives. So it's not just about self-care, it's about you living out the rest of your life not carrying the burden of others. That's real important. And then secondly, it is about self-care. You need to take time to do some things that you would like to do as opposed to doing what everyone else wants to do. And what I mean by that is, I will share, my wife and I had a conversation years ago about the fact that people will never ask you to support them to go on vacation, but they'll go on vacation and come back and ask you to support them. And the reason that we had that conversation is because we observed that people do whatever they want to do, but watch this, what they want to do, and then they come to you for what they need to do. And they don't even realize that they're not being fair to you. They only realize that it's what they want. And you have to be mindful of that. You have to understand that. And the bigger picture of that is, not only do you have to take care of you, and what I mean by that is you have to make certain that you're not going overboard to take care of someone else when it disrupts the things you might like to do. But you have to realize that you're also getting in God's way. So I had a conversation with someone recently about this, and that is that we have to understand that when people do things that disrupt the quality of their life, the consequence of that is that then God has to take action to do something in their life that will cause them to make change. This is just a proven fact that whenever we are doing something for someone else, short of they have been diagnosed with a medical condition that will eventually end their life, or they had some type of medical condition that caused them to be out of work for an extended period of time. Because listen, everyone should have made preparations that in the event of an action of something occurring in their life that is unexpected, they should be prepared. But the truth of the matter is that if they're doing things that are not pleasing unto God and acceptable to God, then God is doing something in their life and we're just getting in the way of what God is doing. And that's for all of us. So here you are at 50, about to turn 51, and you finally have realized that. Well, I said to God be the glory because it takes many of us longer than that to realize it. And there's reasons. There's reasons that it takes us longer to realize it than some others, and particularly in your case. But now you've seen the light, so to speak. You've seen that nobody really cares about what you're doing. They only care about what they're doing. So you have to say to yourself, okay, from this day forward, not only am I going to perform self-care, but I'm going to be mindful about every decision that I make. I was reading an article, and I'll share this with you, is that the comment was made, what's the difference between, because the question was asked, what's the difference between people who do not become successful, people who become successful, and then people who become extremely successful? And the answer to that is, people who do not become successful say yes to everything. They'll do everything that the wind blows them to do. They'll do what they want to do, and they'll do everything that someone else wants them to do. So they'll say yes to everything. And then on top of saying yes to everything, they surround themselves with people who are just like themselves. They surround themselves with people who are all over the place. They surround themselves with people who aren't doing what's necessary to maximize their success or to maximize the quality of their life. And those are the people that they spend most of their time with. Show me your network, and I'll show you your net worth. So show me the people that you surround yourself with, and I'll show you what the quality of your life is going to look like. So they say yes to everything. They surround themselves with the wrong people. And they don't spend time learning every day. They don't spend time learning how to improve self. They don't spend time learning how to improve their profession, their career. They don't spend time learning how to live a better quality of life, which would require them to pick up the Bible and study the Word of God. So those are people who are not going to be successful. And that's a choice. Until they choose to follow God and to follow His way, His will, and His Word, they're not going to experience success. They're just going to live and exist. And then you have those who become successful because they will say no to some things, yes to some things, and they're going to spend time with people who are not like themselves, and they're going to spend time with people who are like themselves. And they're going to spend time with both groups of people. They're going to be successful because they will have some of the right people around them, and they'll carry some other people along with them. And then they're going to spend some time learning. They'll spend some time reading. They'll spend some time examining life lessons, and they'll work on their career. And then you have the extremely successful people who say no to almost everything. They say no everything that is not going to lead to a better quality of life. So they say no to almost everything. And then they're going to make certain that the people they associate with are people who they're either going to learn from, they're going to watch and emulate, or they're going to surround themselves with people who have a higher quality of standard than themselves. And then they're going to learn something every day. They're going to learn how to maximize their success. They're going to learn what they can do to impact society. They're going to learn what's necessary to experience the fullness of God. That's going to be those who are extremely successful. And we all have to decide what category we're going to fit in. And so I say that to say that involves self-care. That also involves you building a better quality of life. So you've made a decision. Stand on that decision that you've made. And that is that for the first time, you feel it's the right time to focus on you. And do just that. Focus on you. To be the best you that you can possibly become. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue where you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. We are broadcasting live right now from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio. Earth's finest water can be found at FijiWater.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you are going to be married this year and you want to know how you and your new spouse can become millionaires by the time you are both 50. Okay, so you want to know what steps can you take to get there. So let me say this to you. So you are 30 years of age right now, your fiance is 32. That means that realistically, he'll be 52, you'll be 50, so you'll both be over 50. That's what you want to accomplish. You want to become millionaires by the time that you're both 50. So you're both not going to turn 50 at the same time. So that's, you didn't tell me that the age of your fiance, but God allowed me to see in that secret place of your lives. He's 52. So you're not going to turn, I'm sorry, he's 32. So you're not going to turn 50 at the same time. He's going to turn 50 first. You're going to turn 50 2 years later. Here's the thing. Work off of the premise of you turning 50. That gives the two of you 2 extra years. So that will give you 22 years to accomplish your goal. So your goal is to be millionaires. The question you have to ask yourself is, why is it important to you to become millionaires? That's the first thing you want to ask yourself. And then the second thing you want to ask yourself is, what can you do to maximize, first of all, your income over the next 22 years? What can the two of you do to maximize your earning capacity for the next 22 years? And then you sit down and chart that out. So where do you need to be in 7 years? Where do you need to be in 14 years? And then where do you need to be in 21 years, even though you have 22 years to accomplish your goal? And here's what I'm going to say to you. Be careful about that. You know, people often say things that they don't really understand exactly what they're saying. So you want to be millionaires by the time you turn 50. You've put a cap on your earning right there. That's the first thing. Now, you can say that you want to build wealth and that you would like to establish a pattern that is going to allow you to make millions of dollars in the years to come, over the next 22 years. But don't just say you want to be millionaires, because then you limit yourself to making $1 million. So you've got to be more specific with your prayers. You got to be more specific with your plan. So where do you want to be in the next 7 years? What can the two of you do to ensure that you generate millions of dollars over the next 22 years? How can you maximize your earning capacity so that you can invest more? How can you maximize your earning capacity so that you can save and invest more? Can you then generate enough income and capital gains that you can pursue entrepreneurship? Because you can't save your way to wealth. You can save and invest your way to wealth, because that's building wealth. But then you've got to decide, okay, I've got income and I've got investments, but now I have to focus on entrepreneurship so that I've got multiple streams of income, so that I know that we'll have the opportunity to maximize our success, accomplish our goals. And you have to do that. You say you want to know what steps you can take to get there. Part of that is having a good strategic plan. So you know that if you are going to make at least $1 million, you're going to need to generate at least about $350 between the two of you over the next 7 years. And then you're going to need to generate another $350,000 over the second 7 years. So that'll take you to year 14. And then by year 21, you have to generate another $350,000. I know it's not exactly 350 because it'll put you over $1 million, but you want to be over $1 million. You don't want to just limit yourself at $1 million. So if your plans are already to make more than that, you got to consider that perhaps you can generate even more than that over the years to come. So you've got to generate income, save and invest, seek entrepreneurship. So generate income over the next 7 years and save and invest. Save and invest more in the second 7 years, which takes you to year 14. Consider entrepreneurship during that time and determine what you can invest in as an entrepreneur to generate additional revenue, and then pursue entrepreneurship so that you can then generate a higher income. That's what, and reinvest that income. Those are the steps the immediate steps that you can take to get to where you want to go. It has to be based on, first of all, capital gains. And second of all, it has to be, so you've got to understand the impact. The capital gains is going to allow you to pay less income tax, first of all, on the capital gains. So you're maximizing your money. And then secondly, you have to reinvest so that, consider dividend stocks. You need some dividend streams to increase your return on investment also. But you've got to keep investing. And you have to keep doing that because you're going to get a compounded return on your investments. So we want to make sure that we, compound interest, compound return on your investment is going to ensure that you're able to increase your income, increase your investments, the valuation of your investments, and you continue to do that over a period of time. You will get to where you need to go if you write that plan, that 21-year plan, and focus on that plan. Nothing else can be more important to you than that. I'm not suggesting you can't ever go on vacation, but just taking trips for the sake of taking trips, that's not going to do it. You've got to know exactly what you want to accomplish, and you've got to work to that end, because this requires hard work, commitment, and diligent effort to get to exactly where you want to go. Homeownership is going to build wealth for you. Real estate is going to build wealth for you. And that's part of entrepreneurship also. There's so many facets of that. We just got to look for ways to generate more income, more return on our investments, so that you can get to the place that you desire to go. And you have to take those steps to get there. Every year of that plan is another step in the right direction to get to where you want to go. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Terrett, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need: shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Terrett at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK, and they also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything that you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. So I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, who indicated that you are struggling with the use of technology and have undertaken a new business venture that requires you to use technology on a daily basis as you've never had to before. And you want to know, what can you do to ensure your success? So let me just say this. Technology is ever evolving. It is constantly moving, and it moves very quickly. You have to really focus on learning every aspect that you need to use every single day, and then learn to, I won't say perfect it. Yes, I will say you won't be perfect at it, but learn to perfect it, meaning learn to every day how to improve your technology skills. We are of a different generation. We didn't grow up with electronic devices in our hands. We didn't grow up with, and when I say we, because you're a little younger than myself, but you're in that age group that really did not grow up with technology. We are immigrants when it comes to technology. We don't understand the language, we don't understand the culture, but we can learn. And that's what we need to focus on. Just focus on using technology every single day in a way that you have the ability to learn and perfect the use of it, because it's not going anywhere. And if we are not focusing on improving our technology skills, we're going to get left behind. And this is not the time of life for us to get left behind. This is the time of life where we must continue moving forward. And so I'm going to encourage you Don't struggle with it. Use it to your advantage and learn something new about the technology you're using every single day. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. Fiji Water is Earth's finest water. May God bless you today. May God keep